Nice.
Nice. So we reached a kind of denouement. Part 2 a denouement in the last one before you wanted a cup of tea.
I wanted a cup of tea. I had my little mayonnaise shortbread in there. I wanted that.
I've just noticed you've put the bag down there.
The bag has been moved.
If that bag starts to move,
I know, you know.
those little mice.
Yeah, oh yeah, they were lovely down
running
there,
around.
Yeah. I said to you, isn't it? It's a comfort all this is going on. That nature's doing its thing.
It is, because as you spotted, for part 2 we've decided to relocate, and this is a bit more haunted, I think.
It's got a slightly more kind of, it's got a kind of more.
Because I'm not overly. I think your description of this as called shoe wood.
Yes.
Is a bit. I don't think it does it justice. So I like the idea of it. It is actually much more haunted. It's got a real.
It's got a moody. Yeah, I don't know the
moodiness
shoes. Yeah, I mean it's old, obviously. Because I mean, Breedwoods is down there, and that's ancient, so it's got a lot. It's old, but I don't know. I think places have
like
an atmosphere. Like us both, really, mate.
I'm old.
We're all getting there.
We were talking.
Places have an atmosphere, don't they?
Yeah, haunted.
Which you can't always. You don't always.
Which fits with my graveyard ramblings.
It has, yeah. No, exactly right. They do have an atmosphere.
Where I talk rubbish for in a graveyard. Just happened to be in a graveyard for God knows how. But so. In terms of being haunted, as an artist, are you haunted?
Not really, no.
Are you haunted by anything?
Not really, no. I don't think so. There are experiences that shape us all, I think, but they're not. I'm quite fortunate, really. I haven't got any overly tragic moments, really. I mean, we've all had people come and go, and all. I don't dwell on those sort of. So it enters my mind, and this. I mean, I was saying to you as we were wandering up about the seasons. And the fact that I think you need to, I think I certainly try and acknowledge them passing, because it makes me kind of appreciate that I'm still here, and I am conscious there will be, and not wishing to get all into a dark kind of moody subject, but there will be a time when spring comes and I'm not here to see it. And I think that you need to, I think everyone is, I think everyone's aware, aren't they, of their own mortality in some ways, but I don't find
they are when you reach my age.
It doesn't enter my work. I don't really ever have that sort of loomingness of it really with the work. I've never.
You know
really
how because I don't slavishly like every single painting of yours, and
no, which
the
I'm
ones
glad you don't. Yeah, well,
the ones that I don't like, because we did talk about this earlier on.
Yeah.
The ones that I don't like paintings,
and I tried to ask Gary why
moons.
This was, and he wouldn't really tell me why it was.
I don't really know why.
Painting? Photography, you said. Photography, you
yeah,
like.
Photography. I don't mind. I don't mind lovely
and seeing them in reality if you're there. But why? I don't understand. Why is it? I said, is it too cliche? Is it like, oh, it's just overdone to? Which I mean, it's used a lot in landscape, but I think there's a reason why I think it's used a lot. It's a very critical.
Why is the word actually? Because whenever I see one, which I have to say, Andy's ones of Sons of Moons, it's not that they're bad paintings or anything like that. But it's.
But it's
like
just,
I just
which
don't
is
like
fine,
them.
yeah, but so, I don't want everyone.
But what
like...
I do like is I do like moonlight. I do like moodiness.
Yes.
So we talked about Styx and we talked about Narcissus and we talked about some of the others, and indeed some of your sea paintings.
Yes, yeah.
You really like a storm, don't you?
I love a storm. Yeah, I love a storm. I mean, that's why wintertime, again, going back to the seasons, and it is critical seasons when you're in a lot of professions, obviously, and just living the seasons are important. But certainly if you're an artist, a landscape artist like me, a painter, the seasons are hugely critical, and wintertime is when you get the best. I'm always drawn to the coast, and I think it's when I was young, growing up. I grew up Winchelsea Beach, and me and Dad, we take the dog out. All weathers, obviously, we take the dog, and I always remember Winchelsea Beach in the wintertime when it was. And I think that's when I start to really appreciate the world around me, really, and looking at it, because it had a massive, especially when you're young, it has this huge just vastness to it, and it's harrowingly, it's it's a terrifying prospect, really, when you think about the vast oceans.
Seas are scary, really.
They are scary, yeah, they are. They
when
have
I when I lived in Folkestone, me and the wife used to go down to the channel, to the beach down there every time there was a storm to watch the lightning over the channel.
Yeah, I always remember.
I mean, and it was scary.
Yeah, we used to take the dog at night, and you'd see the lightning or whatever coming in, and you'd see the small little lights, which are the fishing boats. And me and Dad, we used to count them lights, and you see it does have a real, and I think it's something which I don't know, I tap into a lot. I love the coastline. I love trying to make, even on a still day with the sea, it's a real, all you're getting is light, really, with it. There's very little there to draw upon. It's different with this, because you've constantly got everything going on around you, and there's so many different moments and stuff. But with the sea from a coastline, you're trying to make something from not a lot that's there, really, you know. You're trying to find...
Is that why you have a penchant for whales?
Yes, well, this again, yeah. I don't know where that come from. I've always loved mythology, and I always found the deep ocean.
I'm putting up a picture of one of Andy's paintings about whales over this now.
And I always had, I don't know where the whales, I think there's just something quite powerful about whales and those sort of deep sea creatures and that. I think there was just something very poetic in their place, and the scale of them compared to us, I think they're a very humbling kind of thing. That was something which struck me a lot.
I always kind of found the sea and whales and anything like that quite scary.
Yeah,
when I was a wee nipper, my granddad, who I really loved, he was a wonderful man, and he'd been in the Navy and had been part of the North Atlantic Fleet. Go away!
Someone doing it.
I don't know. You come out into a wood, and all of a sudden
going on.
somebody. Well, funny enough, I was just about to start talking about the war, because he was in the North Atlantic Fleet, and when I was a little boy and I used to stay with my grandparents, he used to tell me stories about the sea, and they were always full of mermaids and, and big fish and whales and
very superstitious.
The most amazing stories he told me about them, and every time I look at pictures with that sort of subject matter, I do think about him, which is rather nice, actually.
I think, it is. I think it's impossible to ignore it, I think, particularly if you're interested in the world around you. I don't think you could ignore
I still don't like suns and moons.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't paint them all the time, but it's like I was saying down there. I think there's a certain kind of...
In part one?
In part one. In part one. I think there's a place for them in many respects. I think they're a very significant part of the day.
Because that brings on to another thing, and that is that your style... I mean, I think I can't remember what we talked about in part one. Part one was in part one. But you have changed your style.
It evolves,
quite dramatically. Oh, I've just seen. God, I hope that was a horse. Oh yes,
it might have not been. It might have been.
It might have been something.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
It might have been Bigfoot. Actually, because I'm pretty sure that this wood is infested with Bigfoot.
It could well be.
But anyway, where were we, for Christ's sake? What were I talking about?
Evolution of style.
Evolution of styles. Yeah. So we've talked about the sea ones, we've talked about the more impressionist ones of yours, the naive style.
Yes.
But there are also, you've just recently come out of what, I don't know if you would call it your woody period.
Yeah, I think the woody period, we'll call it that from now on, I think that trees have always been a love of mine. I've always found them, again, kind of like whales in some regard. I mean, I've not seen whales. I've never seen, not whales the country, obviously, but the actual sea creatures, whales. But I've always found trees have a presence to them, I always think. I mean, this sort of environment, there's something about the size of them, there's something about them which I've always found quite, I don't know, addictive really, I'm not sure, but I've always found them, they're a challenge to paint and to draw, because they're always moving. I did one of my blogs on trees. He's back again, he's doing the loops above us.
It's funny actually, because we're just as a quick diversion, because Andy's wife is a budding pilot.
She's a keen flyer.
She's a keen flyer.
Yeah.
Hi, Leonie. And because of living where we do, quite often you can be sitting in your back garden having a cuppa and a bit of cake, and all you can hear above you is a bloody Spitfire.
It's her.
There's spit.
She's doing the
But how many other places can you have planes from the Second World War
just
flying
doing
around
their
your head,
thing,
doing their thing above you? That's got absolutely
A
nothing to do
massive
with
shout out
anything.
to my dear wife for putting up with me. And it's interesting because I met her.
Thank you, Leonie, for putting up.
I'm not going to go, but I met her my first open studios that I had, and that's where I met my wife. Isn't that great? So we both had that. Anyway, passion art. So thank you for putting up with oil paintings all around the house and for being my best critic. Really, she is. But trees, yeah. So I can't remember what I
And
said.
now you've moved on to.
It's always land.
What
yeah.
did you describe? Because you've changed
Very
your style.
pared down landscape.
Pared
Which
down.
again, if you go back to some of the work, I had a phase. I think it was my first show with Marcus. I called it the Simple Image then because it was very much pared down kind of landscapes, concentrating on sort of atmosphere more than anything. And I found recently that seems to have become.
Have I got anything from that
round?
show?
You have.
Oh, have I?
Yeah, you have. I'm sure you have. No, I don't think you have actually. Second show, the one
Second
upstairs.
I've definitely got one from the second show.
Yes.
Um,
The giant. I don't think that was.
This is about as interesting.
I know.
as
Sorry about that.
yeah, just talk amongst yourselves. Yeah,
It's fine.
We'll just argue this one out. For a minute.
I'm sure you have from the second show. Maybe a couple from the second show, or around that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always find it an evolution of. I don't ever sort of see it as a switch style. For the way, I mean, it might seem like that from someone looking in, but from me looking out, I don't. There's a relationship with all of the work, and my trees. I
said this to you earlier on, didn't I? That when you came to my house earlier on.
Yeah.
What's it like as an artist seeing
older
the
work
stuff,
again?
Older work again.
You tend to. I mean, I tend to critique. I look at it and think, well, that works. That doesn't work.
Do you?
But yeah, always.
I'll
yeah.
get a refund on that one.
You can keep the receipts for it, but no, there's certain aspects you can see that you've taken from older work. It's kept on. It's there. The traces are there. It's like it's something that's grown. It's like a seed. I don't know whatever you want to call it, and it's. The original thing is there still, but it evolves. I wouldn't like to be stagnant with the work. I would never be. I don't think you can be. No,
I wouldn't want a stagnant painting.
You want a stagnant painting.
Would you want a stagnant
I don't
painting?
Think everyone
I
would
wouldn't
want them. But I think I think you have to, because you get older, your mind changes, how you see things change. What becomes important, what isn't important changes. And I think if you're someone who paints or does any kind of creativity, I think if you don't move along with that, I don't understand how people can just sit on one particular. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the work I'll do, like I said, it has got that pattern, and there are certain themes that will always be there. Landscape will always be there because that's what inspires me. And the trees that I'm doing, I mean, I found recently just doing the trees, I found them to be just addictive to paint. And they all come from these sort of places. They all come from drawings. You know, a lot of them are the same places that I'll go to. The seasons change, and they're not realistic paintings. They're not. I don't paint photo. That's not the way I work. It's an emotional painting. That's how I work. I don't sort of try and capture a photo of it all. It's not the way it's more. It's an emotional kind of.
And how do you take
there.
criticism?
I just think you've got to be. Well, you know this from your world as well.
Yeah.
You've got to be thick-skinned, I think, with it, haven't you? You can't. It took a lot for me to actually start putting paintings out into the world, because it started off as being something that I just loved to do.
Yeah.
So that I'd only be at home doing, and I'd only show my mum and my dad or whatever like that. And then as I sort of became more serious about it, and I had a few life changes that kind of redirected my attitude to, you know, your life, basically, not going too deep on all those subjects, but I did, and I realised that you have really got one shot to have a go at stuff, and if you want to do something, you should do it. But it took a lot to actually put because you are really putting a bit of yourself out there when you do.
Do you critique yourself?
All the time, yeah.
Does that make you insecure, or
I think it keeps you active. I think that's the best way.
Does it ground you?
I think in some ways, yeah, it frustrates me sometimes, but I never. I've never finished a painting and been, if it hasn't worked, been upset by it in some respects. I sort of
have you not? Vince was though, wasn't he?
I think he was.
Didn't
yeah.
It's a popular. It's conception about artists that when something doesn't work, they throw it over the other side of the room, or they
it will be set aside, and I'll see it aside.
Or cut bits of their body off. You know,
no, I mean, it's not the way I am. I'm quite a calm person, I think. That's the truth. And I find that you can take something. You've got to make mistakes, because that's the only way you'll learn anything, is to make mistakes. But you've got to have. I always say that if you're enthusiastic about something, that will make up for a total lack of skill or anything. You've got to take a pot at it, you know what I mean? And there was when I first started painting, and I started with paintings out there, and you do get a lot of negativity about it, and you get a lot of people who don't see it, but you take that criticism.
Well,
we
talked about that, didn't we? Because this is an area where our two artistic worlds meet,
right, yeah.
And that is that we're both worlds are subject to criticism and how you take that. And in our case, you get critiqued effectively or directed in a very immediate way from a director. Yeah. So you come to a part as an actor which is written by a writer. You're given a script. You become there's a great thing about when you're doing acting training about a focus on becoming an actor, which is very strange concept actually compared to what we've been talking about.
It is.
I said to you, didn't I, that somebody once said to Andy Warhol, how do you become an artist? And he said, you say, I'm an artist. With acting, it's a question of finding the character. Having said that, Betty Davis famously once said that she thought that all acting was actually nonsense, and that actually it is really just the person.
I guess it's them projecting something. I don't know. I mean, I've never acted or done anything like that. I mean, but how do you, in your profession, how have you taken criticism? Because like I was saying to you before, I don't have a director telling me what to do. I'm the only thing that I can get any criticism from would be the audience, if you will. But you have an element.
Yeah, we do, and I don't think anyone would be being truthful if they didn't find the process of being told that what you believe to be a good performance that you're giving to a part isn't. And sometimes you can be directed to do something which is not just out of your comfort zone, but it's not. It's just not there in you.
No.
And I think our worlds do.
They do
meet
very
in
much
that regard sometimes.
Because anything where you're putting something out.
And then there's the other type of criticism, of course, is external criticism, media criticism, the critics and what have you. There, there is also criticism from an audience. We talked in part one about The Rebel, and I showed a clip from that.
Yes.
And one of the reasons that film is so particular for me is because in television, I found people will tell you stuff that is not true. At least that's how I perceive it.
I understand.
I mean, I didn't enjoy presenting.
No.
As was painfully obvious from this. but I didn't. I mean, I didn't enjoy the process.
I remember you saying that it wasn't your way of...
But I think you can believe the hype sometimes. And that to me is a line that I could never cross.
No, I get that.
And I would imagine, thinking about Hancock in The Rebel, an artist who believes what he's being told. He's got so much belief in what he's doing.
Well, that's it. And I think, there's a good and a bad with that.
It's all about how you deal with this in your head.
How you deal with that, and I think there's a good and a bad with it. I think you need to have that kind of... If you don't love what you're doing, etc., then there's no point doing it, isn't there? With me, I've never seen being a painter, I never saw it as being a profession when I was younger. It was just something that I loved to do. And even now, if I suddenly, won the lottery or whatever, I would still paint constantly because it's just
Is being a
important.
painter-
It's just what's so important to me, you know.
Is being a painter, or for that matter, me being an actor, dependent upon you doing that 100% of your time and making your living out of it?
I think it depends. I think it can, it cannot. I think it depends on how your brain works, your circumstances in many respects.
Yeah.
And, and I think that it can be a blessing and a curse to have one and the other. You know, I think that's true. But I think if you've got the mentality to make time for it, then it doesn't matter what else you do. You'll be able to do what you want to do. You know, I don't ever buy by the whole, I haven't got time to do this. I think you can make time if you want to do something, and if you really want to do something, you'll make time to do it. And I think you need a balance. What works for you, I think.
I mean, we talked before about in my profession, there is a real stigma attached with people who have day jobs, who have other jobs, who have other ways of actually.
I think that's the same in many.
Effectively living, eating, breathing, paying bills, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you don't give in to everything, I mean, a lot of it is chance.
Yes.
If you get the opportunity for a long run or something substantial,
I can imagine,
in a bit of filming, that's great, and you can deal with that.
But I mean, it's probably difficult with your work with the filming because it's not with painting. It's something which you can keep rolling. You can try and build relationships with galleries, and I suppose you can do that with certain production organisations. But I suppose if you get given one role in one particular play or something, and then that role's done, then you might have a whole period of time where you haven't got anything.
Yes.
You can't, you know, it's tricky,
No,
isn't it? It's hard.
Is absolutely true.
I mean, I don't know how you would fill
We
the
call
gaps
it rest.
There you go, you see, I don't know these things, but that's interesting. Whereas painting, there's always stuff to do when you're...
Now I'm in my decline.
Well, now you're a man of leisure. Do you know what I mean?
I'm a man of leisure.
It's a different sort of thing, yeah.
I did actually,
places like this.
I'm taking a risk in talking about this, but I did agree to do a film which should have been shooting later this year, and then I read the script.
Yes.
And I decided that this was not a part.
Which I know you've done in the past because you told me, haven't you? And that's what I do admire. The fact that if it doesn't, but I think that's true because if you get given a role, it's like me. If I take on commissions, and I'm very careful when I take on commissions, and I do take on commissions, but it also has to align with what I do.
And you would say no.
I would say no. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, usually people have seen the work, know what I paint, and they kind of think, well, this would work for us. So it's very rare that I'll get a commission that doesn't align. But
do you know, we talked about a mutual friend of ours who's no longer with us, who I know we both were very fond of, Darryl Balcombe. And I once asked Darryl if I could commission him to do a painting of my mother. I had a really beautiful photograph of her taken in the mid-1950s. And I thought the only person that I know who could do justice to this would be Darryl. And I had absolute 100% faith that he would be able to recreate this. The colours were beautiful in it. The image was fantastic. And I gave him a copy of the photograph, and he went away. And when I met up with him 2 or 3 weeks later, I asked him again, and he said, no, I don't want to do it.
No.
And we just kind of left it at that. In Darryl's case, Darryl's quite a complicated character, as you.
He is.
But I totally respect.
Got some runners.
What Darryl's decision was.
Yes.
And we've got some runners coming past. This proves that we're live.
Yes. Don't worry about this. They'll come jogging past, and hopefully they can get round us. I'm sure they can.
I think it brings a bit of action.
It does. More actually. Hi, you're right there. Yeah.
It brings a bit of action. I wouldn't have been that happy if that had been a wild boar.
A Sasquatch.
Or a Sasquatch.
Or something. They're cracking on at a pace though, aren't they?
Anyway,
kudos to them.
kudos to them. I'm afraid my knee.
I'm a cyclist. I'm not a runner. I have no problem with running, but cycling is my thing.
Can I suggest that you do a painting of Ditchling Beacon?
Yes.
While you're halfway up.
Yeah, well, I'm halfway up it. I've done it
I
before.
did. Andy has done
London to Brighton.
You've done, and I've done London to Brighton, but many, many years ago. And I said with some smugness to Andy when we were talking about this, did you make it up Ditchling Beacon? Because I had to give up about a fifth of the way up. It was far too steep for me.
It's quite a climb.
But you rode.
I storm it. I storm
You
even the
stormed
photographer,
it.
not wishing to blow me up, even the photographer at the top when I went past and said, "You're storming up there." Yeah. So I did, but I do a lot of hill climbing. But cycling is, and I'm not going to get onto cycling because I could
thank
talk
Christ
about
for that.
and not everyone likes it. But you know what? It's because really with the painting and the work, as I was saying to you, so many of these places I've found through being on the bicycle, because it's so much easier to get to these sort of places by bicycle. I mean, you can walk to a lot of them, but the amount of places I've come across through cycling down little lanes and stuff and just stopping and going, you know what, that's a cracking little spot.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
it's so much easier
in
than in a
fact,
car.
coming here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had no idea
No.
that this wood was here.
It comes up, there's a place called Settlescombe nearby, and there's a hill here, and it's an absolutely stunning road down.
We're in East Sussex,
East Sussex,
by the way, as
and
we
very
speak.
lucky to be so as well.
Yes, we are.
Can't go wrong with that.
Now, when we were relocating to this luxury spot where we are now, I said, remind me to mention Les Dawson, which might not seem the most obvious of links.
No.
But it comes back to what we were talking about with regard to becoming an artist, what makes an artist an artist. And I once heard one of his last interviews, and I have a feeling it might even have been broadcast for the first time just after he had already passed away. And it was an interview, it was a one-on-one interview between him and the psychologist Dr. Anthony Clare. And Anthony Clare said to Les Dawson, what I'm having to paraphrase now because I can't remember the exact words, but accept Les's reply. Anthony Clare said to him, what do you dislike the most? And Les thought for a minute, and then in a rare moment of seriousness, he said, security. And Anthony Clare said, that's a strange thing to say that you dislike there. And Les Dawson said, I dislike security because it kills ambition. And if I had only ever looked for security in what I did, I'd have done nothing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing there. If you look it up, maybe it's available online somewhere. But I found that incredibly moving because he was somebody who you very rarely heard speak seriously for much longer than a couple of sentences. And it was an amazing thing to hear. How important is security to you?
I think it is important. I mean, we all have responsibilities. We all have, we live in a world that has created a need to pay bills, and we all have those responsibilities of people who depend on us and our own needs as well. But again, I think there are always ways, if you really want, and it all sounds I'm not doing promotional self-help at all. I'm not qualified to do anything like that, but I think if you want to do something, you'll be able to find the means.
Has it ever affected what you do in your art?
In some ways, yeah. I mean, more just my personal, not so much in affecting it in, I don't want to take a risk because this might not be cost effective or whatever, but more just a risk for me mentally saying, am I prepared to do this? Do I want to put myself out to do this? And do I want to put myself out into the world and show this sort of side? Which is why
I just want to. It's just because the thing is, the way my mind works. I'll think of something and then I'll forget it 2 minutes later. It was something you said to me earlier on when you were reacquainting yourselves with some of the paintings that I've got of yours, and we were upstairs looking at the island. Which is a whopper.
It is a whopper.
It's one of the biggest paintings you've ever done.
Yeah, it is
and I love
how big
you
it was.
said to me, did you not say something about you're not trying to promote something in there? Well, viewer, let me tell you how this man actually does some promoting. I phoned him up one day and I said to him, I'm a bit bored. I think I'll come. Are you in the studio today? And he said, yeah, come down to the studio.
Have a cup of tea. Yeah, come
So
on.
I came down, had a cup of tea. We had a chat with the ghost, and I came in to actually look at a specific painting, and he,
it was true.
knowing what I
know what you like. I'd like to try and I'd like
bashed out enormous. And this
painting.
thing is like
it's a big painting.
It's the size of a mountain.
It's a big painting.
It's a big one.
And it was sitting there quite nicely on the wall.
You
just conveniently on the drying wall.
You swine. And of course, I came in and there's the painting over there.
I can't remember what it was.
I kind of
glanced at.
Never mind that. What's this?
It was
imagine. And I did end up.
Yes, you did.
Acquiring that one.
Yes.
And not eating for a week. I have put on weight since.
Well, there's no space.
But I lost 5.5 stone because I didn't eat for the next year paying for that big one. But so you're quite good at promoting.
Well, in that regard, yeah. I mean, for people I know, I mean, it's difficult. The thing I found hardest, okay, this is the truth, since I sort of moved from painting and just doing it as a love affair and becoming a, whatever you want to call it, professional painter, whatever, trying to turn it into a business, is that trying to make it into a business, because then you're putting value on things and it's hard to do that.
Yes.
That's why I found the hardest shift when I thought, right, let's try and make a living if we can out of this. It's trying not to destroy what you're trying to do, because you need to make money out of it, because it's a business side of things and you need to do that. It's trying to stay pure to that was the hardest thing, and I still find it hard now. I'm not someone who, I mean, I'm doing more of the videos and I'm trying to do more of my stuff because I found it nice to be able to talk about stuff more and sort of put myself out and talk about things.
That value thing
is hardest thing.
Oh, well, I found that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have done more writing of late, and when you
turning that into a bit, finding what you love,
yes,
and trying to turn that into a business and trying to stay true to what you're doing,
absolutely, and then pricing, putting a value, a monetary value
it's
on
such
what you do.
a difficult thing to do. It really is a very difficult thing to do.
And do you think ever about what your audience will get from that? I mean, yes, you're an artist. Yes, I do what I do. Writing a book and pricing it up. I'm thinking about my audience, because if I price a book up that I've written at £30, most of the has-beens and dingbats that would buy my rubbish, they would want the decimal point in a different place.
If people appreciate what you're doing, I think, and I mean, I've been very, very fortunate, I think, that I've built up people like yourself, really, that I've built up there are a base of people who are very, very supportive, and you need those sort of patrons, you need those sort of people to support, and I found that I've had
you do indeed.
Again, particularly yes. Marcus,
and do you is art elite?
It doesn't have to be. I think it's one of those things that can be. I think it's like so many things, like wine and cigars and exotic classic cars. I think
does it bother you? Is it something you think?
I don't think I'd ever sort of be part of it. Yeah. I think it can be. Like I said, like wine and all those antiques, I think it can be, but I don't think it has to necessarily be. You'll have the huge greats, the greats of art who people will invest in their work and they'll buy their work because they can only see the monetary side as a sound investment. They'll buy whatever and it'll be stored, or so you'll always have that. But I think it's still a very accessible thing. Art. I think anyone can enjoy it. Anyone can like it. I mean, there are certain aspects of it which can. I mean, I've always been me. I've always been humble stock, really. I've never been someone who's
common.
I am, and proud to be. It's never bothered me. I've worked, and
Turner was. We talked about that.
I don't think you should ever. There's certain aspects that I may not fit into, but I don't really want to.
David Hockney's always been down.
Very humble, yeah. He always, very much so. Yeah, I don't think and that's fine by me. I am who I. As soon as you get older, I'm finding that more and more, and it's certainly going back to what we were saying about criticism. And I find that it might sound really selfish. It probably does sound quite selfish, but I'll paint what I want to paint, and if people like it and it inspires them and they enjoy it, then that's what it's about. And if they don't like it, that's fine as well. It doesn't. I'm not bothered about that. That doesn't. You know, I'm not going to appeal to everyone, and I'm grateful I don't. I was saying, you need to have that critique. You need to have people. I'd be very concerned if everything I painted everybody liked all the time. There are certain parts of it which I don't like. There are aspects of it which I think, well, that
you know what
work.
I always say to you, don't you?
Need
Again,
that in life, I
I'm
think.
quoting Hancock again. That's where your painting
That's where your painting
mate.
is.
That's where your picture is, mate, there.
Exactly, and people don't always, like you with the suns, and there's certain aspects, people might not like trees all the time, you know. I mean, I'll paint, mine is very much landscape, and not everyone is into landscape painting, and that's fine, but I don't, when I start any sort of work and painting, because I don't do it as a means of being like, oh, I must go out and do it. I do it because I love doing it, and I'll come out and I'll come to a place like this, and I'll spend 3 or 4 hours drawing it, painting it, whatever. It's not like a shift at a job for me in that regard.
No.
And then the work will come, and I'll put it on Instagram, or I'll do whatever, or Marcus will have it, and some people will like it, and some people won't like it, and that's fine by me.
Is there an end point?
No, only when I drop. I mean, that's it. It will never end. Because how can it end? There's always something to inspire. You know, there always is. No day is the same. No moment is the same. It's always changing, always evolving.
Yeah.
If
Totally.
you're a landscape painter, you're always inspired by something.
Yeah.
There's always something different.
Ooh, I thought I heard something then.
Sasquatch again. It could be the runners. They could be coming back,
So,
possibly.
although there isn't an end point for you in that
No.
regard, there is an end point for us
I think so, yeah.
for this.
I think we could keep
It's
going.
been really good to be
Yes.
out and talking, and we've had mice, we've had Sasquatch,
We've had Sasquatch,
Sasquatch.
We've had
runners,
joggers. We've had some very nice rambler hikers.
Yes,
who
an
came.
unidentified creature wandered across the path down
Yes,
there,
that
which
was quite unusual.
gave me a bit of a
Might have been
fright.
horse. I think it was a horse. Yes, and your extinct company, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
always.
it's been good fun.
Yeah, it has
and
been
long may it continue. And in the meantime, if people want to find your work, where is the best place for them to find it?
So online, it's probably my Instagram is the most up to date, but also I have my website as well, which is updated fairly regularly, but anyone can approach me through that. And for actual paintings, Marcus, go and see Marcus at Macaulay and Crane in Rye, who, like I say, always has, even if you're not there to see my work, he has some fantastic collection of artists and stuff. Go and have a look at his stuff. Go look at the gallery. Have a look and see. And I'm also on YouTube, which is very, very in early days on that. It's not very good at the moment, but we'll get there. So try and take people
Probably
out
better
painting.
than this.
I don't know. This you can actually hear me for a start, which is what I'm struggling with the other. But I want to do more of that. I want to take people out, and I want to, you know.
Okay, you can take me out. We'll go for a
We'll
hugely
go for a
expensive
hugely
meal,
expensive fun.
and then we'll go and have a look at
Go and do
the
some-
Fighting Temeraire
Yeah,
again.
go and do that,
And
it'll be
I'll
fine.
take my iPhone.
And do some, just stand in front of it doing a selfie.
Let's see how quickly we can get around the whole gallery.
2 seconds flat, and just
Yeah.
not see anything probably.
Great stuff. Right, I
Nice
think
one.
we better pack our rubbish up and bugger off.
We better do that.
It's been fab.
Mate,
Thanks, Andy.
Always a pleasure.
All
Thank
the
you,
best,
mate. Thank you, my friend. Beautiful.